Good afternoon. This is Javon Montague Travels, and I wanted to do a special interview. We have Lori Grande here with us, who was our first non-referral, non-friend related customer who came with us 2017 in Japan. Just wanted to say good afternoon and thank you for agreeing to the interview.
Thank you for having me.
All right, cool. So, question one, what was the worst, the hardest part of the trip for you?
My phone was stolen from a restroom in Vancouver, so it was hard for me to communicate with Javon. I had to use my laptop and get on Wi-Fi and connect there. We were at opposite terminals, so it was
That
a
was
little
hilarious.
difficult. Yes, and when he says carry light, carry very light. I carried a little heavy and had to drag it, my luggage from train to train to train. That was a lot of exercise.
Yeah. I remember the phone part. I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, if your phone was stolen, how are you talking? Oh! And then I realized that Narita International Terminal is actually A, B, and C. I was trying to pick her up in C, and she was actually in B. So yeah. And if you are traveling light, there are services where hotels can move your luggage for you to another hotel. It's about 20 to 30 bucks if it's in the city of Tokyo, but it escalates once you're out of the prefecture. So that's question one. All right, so moving on to the next question. What was a major culture shock to you when you were in Japan?
The cleanliness. As soon as you return back into the States or outside of Japan, you realize how dirty everything is. It's just, ugh, can I clean that for you? Another culture shock was the respect that everybody presented to you. Even though you were a stranger, they respected you 100%.
Yeah. Okay. How did you feel about the onsen experience or any of that work?
Oh, that's another one. It was a little difficult for me. It was a challenge. I wasn't able to go through with it, but just going in there and seeing all the people just enjoying themselves.
In the buff.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, now we're going to move on to question three. So question three, did you ever feel overwhelmed by the culture and the language? Or getting around Japan?
Not at all. I went ahead and researched and studied some of the culture and researched some phrases that I knew would help me get around, keeping an open mind, of course. Also, Javon was extraordinary when it came to getting across the language barrier.
Okay, cool. We're just going to keep question four rolling. How did you feel about having your own personal tour guide or having my services?
Tying into that, it was awesome. Like I said, he helped me feel more comfortable being outside of the country. It was a pretty great experience. He got me from place to place, explained everything clear and concise.
All right, awesome. Okay. All right, question five. So tell us about your experience with the JR Pass for this trip. Was it useful? Was it economical for you? Give us your feeling.
All of the above. All you have to do is get in line, quickly say, okay, I want to take it from here to here, and they have your pass ready. It's as easy as that.
So the hard part for us was not talking to people about what our trip was when we were in Tokyo at the Marunouchi's office for the JR Pass. Because remember, we went across the hall. The people at the JR Pass office and the tourism office were like, wow, it's your first time in Japan, where are you from? They ask you a lot of not necessarily personal questions, but touristy questions. And then the fact that this was her very first time in Japan, armed with the JR Pass and a personal tour guide, they had like a million questions for her.
Yes.
She was like the celebrity. Number 6, hard question. What was your least favorite hotel the entire trip?
Although the concept was amazing, Manga Hotel was my least favorite, only because it was so far outside of the major cities.
It was so far outside of Osaka.
Yes, and we had to contact one of the local citizens to be able to get in the door. That took about an hour.
Yeah.
Not fun.
The train to the Manga Hotel, I realized that we had stopped at a Ueda station, and then we kept going. I'm like, oh, I thought this was in town. And then we ended up being 20 miles outside of the city of Osaka in the woods. My least favorite hotel was the B Hakata. in
Oh, okay.
Fukuoka.
Uh-huh.
Because remember when we checked in, the room was 98 degrees. And they said they were acting like if I was crazy. I'm like, Hanto Atsuda,
Yes.
you know, and they came and checked the thermostat, and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning before we got a new room and we got to sleep. So, yeah.
Not fun.
Favorite hotel, number 7.
The Prince Hotel. That one was so luxurious. You looked outside, you saw mountains, the sea, the ocean, the Bay Area, you saw the ferries. It was perfect.
And then we went to Miyajima Island, and she almost got kidnapped by deer.
Very
Photogenic.
photogenic, yes. It was amazing. The deer let you touch them. They were very friendly.
Yeah. Miyajima Island, she's talking about the Grand Prince Hotel in Hiroshima.
Mm-hmm.
And they do have a $35 ticket, round trip ticket from the hotel to Miyajima Island and back. Very beautiful experience.
Yes, gorgeous.
What did you think of the shrine at Miyajima Island?
Oh, it was so peaceful. It was so peaceful. Everybody respected it. I mean, it was gorgeous.
We took a lot of video. Make sure you follow the link in the description for the tour video. Hard question. Least favorite city out of the entire trip?
I could not think of one. I think just being in Japan in general, outside of the country for the first time, was awesome. Awesome, hands
Okay.
down. I did not have a least favorite city. No, I did not.
Okay. Favorite city?
Favorite city, Akihabara. It's very touristy, I know, but the toys.
Okay. So Lori is a hardcore manga, anime, and video game collector. So yes, Akihabara was solid. What did you think about Sanomi and Kobe when we went to all the little other shops?
Oh, of course. Those are the little hidden gems where I found some of my dessert pieces or guts. Yes.
Yeah.
That's where I found those. Yes. So
And we also found some cool stuff in Shizuoka.
And Shizuoka, that's right.
That's where you got the big one, and the little ones you got in Kobe.
Yes.
And also, don't forget, what about Nakano Broadway?
Nakano Broadway. That's where I found guts. Yep. My figure of guts. Yes.
All right. So it was a great trip. You know, my favorite city, of course, will always be Kobe. I'm not biased to Akihabara. And then my phone wants to die. Okay, nope, we're good. All right. So, what activities did you enjoy the most about the trip?
What?
What activities did you enjoy the most about the trip?
Being outdoors. In Houston, Texas, you have to drive from place to place. Being in Japan in general got you outside. You were more physically active. I really enjoyed that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about the scheduling? For example, compared to other tourist stages that you might have travel agents, how did you feel about your open schedule planning?
It was geared toward me, and I really enjoyed that. Not having to be on a hard schedule according to everybody else's needs, but to my own. That you can't find everywhere.
Okay. All right. How do you feel about the price of the trip in total? Did you feel you got your money's worth?
Oh yes. Compared to other travel agencies, you are spending thousands and thousands of dollars. With Jawan, he provided me something that was more personalized, which helped narrow down the cost. You still got the same quality, which was great.
Okay. Favorite restaurant?
Favorite restaurant?
I know this is like a left field question. Like, what was your favorite restaurant for the trip?
You know, you might be very surprised, but Yoshinoya. What is it? I'm sorry,
Yoshinoya.
Yoshinoya. Sorry, mispronounced
She's
that.
biased. We approve. All right.
It was great. It was quick. We found all different kinds of food there.
Okay. One of the questions that came in that I added to your list, number 11, do you feel you got your money's worth for your 3 weeks?
Yes. Oh yes. I tell people, how much it costs, and what?
Okay.
Wow. It's true.
When you discuss it with other people, what are the top 3 things you always mention?
That you don't have to stay just in one city. And I always mention the JR Pass. It's crucial to your trip.
Yeah, my favorite part was when we realized that we weren't going to stay at the Manga Hotel. We were like, Hotels.com. There's a
Yes.
hotel in Kyoto.
Let's go there.
So we actually added a city to the trip and cut out one hotel. How has the trip changed your perspective on life?
Oh, I've always been a very nice person in general, but I feel like it helped me just realize that people need to know that it's okay. You're going to get through life. Respect people, respect others. Keep moving forward.
Well, you went through some personal struggles after your trip,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as your perspective on traveling again, if you had the chance to go back to Japan or go to another country, would you go?
Back to Japan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 100 times over.
Look how quickly that face changed. Like, Japan? What?
If I could live there,
Hmm.
yes.
Just to keep you informed, 2019, we're going to Hideyoshi. So, of course, you've seen some
Yes.
of the pictures and the stuff that I posted on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. We're going to the city of Hideyoshi, and we're trying to catch their early summer festival.
Oh, wow.
2020, we're going to go for cherry blossom season, and we're going to stop by Hideyoshi again.
Yes.
So I hope you can join us for 2020.
I hope so too.
Okay. Number 13 is reinforcing. How would you explain the service you received from beginning to end? Because remember, for those of you who don't know, Lori met me at Mini Con in San Antonio in 2016,
Mm-hmm.
and we kept in constant communication helping plan her trip for 2017. So how would you feel about the trip? About like all the services that I provided from beginning to end?
It was really good, really, really good. You paid attention to everything that I enjoy. You did thorough research. You gave me the research says, hey, what do you like? What would you like? At what time? What days? And I couldn't ask for anything better than that, really.
Okay. So would you say that this was a fully personalized service?
100%.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. And how do you feel about the follow-up? Because it's been a year and 3 months since you've gotten back. How do you feel about the trip now, looking back? Like you had the cell phone issue.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Then we had to go through Ginza, which was the most expensive part of Tokyo. We met the guy from Costa Rica who spoke
Mm-hmm.
English.
Yes.
And then we toured Ginza, and that wasn't even part of her trip. How do you feel about all those headaches and hang-ups? And then a year later, it's like, I could do it again.
It's all part of the journey. It wouldn't make a great story if there wasn't the downs, but definitely the ups were great. Yes,
Okay.
I still look back and I talk about it all the time. People are like, "Okay, calm down. You haven't been yet. You don't understand."
Cool. Well, thank you for your interview. Is there anything you want to share with the audience, letting us know what you felt, what you went through, anything that you would change?
Don't be scared. There's a lot of people around here that say, oh, it costs too much. It costs too much. Oh, I don't want to get outside this country. But it really is a journey. You see yourself, you find yourself, you realize that there is a bigger world out there. And it doesn't have to be Japan. It can be Europe. It can be anywhere around the world. It's amazing.
Yeah. And she's forgetting about the part where I stayed in bed because I was dealing with allergies and she wouldn't explore it on her own.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yes. It was fun.
How did you feel being out on your own?
Just walk, keep walking. It was good. I liked it.
Okay.
It was a different experience.
Okay. One of the things that I offered as part of the trip is that we did the Kimi no Wa, Your Name. There was 4 sites that we could actually go see in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Which one was your favorite?
Definitely the stairs part.
Oh, at the shrine.
There were so
Suga
many
Shrine.
people there that were doing the same thing I was, which is taking pictures as I'm looking up the stairs. So that was fun.
Cool, cool. She has a very infamous picture in front of the police station in Shinjuku.
Yes, I remember that. That building is so tall.
Yes.
So tall. Wow.
Okay. What else was special to you for the trip? What moments really touched you? Like my favorite moment was Aru City when we went to the Captain Harlock Museum, the AJ Matsumoto.
Oh my gosh, yes, I told people about that one too. They don't know who he is. Excuse me? Let's rip that card.
You're not an anime lover. Leave.
What's so strange and what sticks out to me the most was the book collector. The picture that I took of the book collector. He looked very happy. He was just there collecting books and putting the pages back together. That was a special moment for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was great.
That was a beautiful moment. What had happened is that the hotel we had in Akihabara was basically 2/10 of a mile, not even a quarter mile from the center of everything going to Akihabara, Yodobashi camera. I love Yodobashi camera.
Yes.
All right. But we had passed a homeless man, and even though he was homeless, his shirt was pressed, it was very clean,
Yes.
and he was finding books and cleaning them up so he could go trade them in for money. A very humble gentleman, and he didn't seem angry, bitter, or sad about his circumstances. So that's one of the things that I enjoyed as part of the trip.
Oh, yes.
We also fell in love with Yodobashi camp.
Oh, we went to every single one in every single city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yodobashi Camera 1 has the best Wi-Fi, so you can live stream from any device in Yodobashi Camera. And it's 5G, it's not 3G, it's like 5G Wi-Fi. That's amazing, and everything just sings in harmony with itself. My two favorite Yodobashi cameras was, of course, Akihabara and Kyoto. Because we went to dinner at the British bar that was right around the corner from it.
I remember.
So, do you have any questions for me as far as business or going back to Japan?
How soon can we go?
2019.
2019. All right.
So, for everyone that's interested in joining one of my custom tour groups, right now, the package price is about $800 more than Lori's, which comes out to about $6,200 if you're sharing a room. But it's 3 weeks. We're going to Tokyo, Hiroshima. We're basically following her route. So it's going to be Tokyo, Shizuoka. We're going to try to go to Fuji. That was the only thing that sucked.
Yes, it was raining, but
It was storming. You couldn't see anything when we went to Odawara Station. But it's going to be Tokyo, try to do Mount Fuji, Hiroshima. Then we're going to go all the way down to Kumamoto. We're going to do a day stop in Fukuoka and Kitakyushu. We're going to do 3 days in Kumamoto City, do the weekend in Hideyoshi. Then we're going to do Kyoto, Kobe, and Osaka, and then leave.
oh, yes, I remember.
Found out the best time to go to Mount Fuji is spring.
Spring? Oh, yes. If you want to see the snow at the top, definitely.
And then the cherry blossoms around the base.
Gosh, yes.
Okay.
Perfect photos. Can see it now.
And I also do photographer trips. If you're just specifically going to shoot film, let me know. Hideyoshi has a lot of opportunities for independent filmmakers to come out and rent an office or rent space.
Wow. Very cool.
So what we're going to do is all of Lori's artistic, she is an up-and-coming superstar in the graphic art designs world. She cosplays, she does everything. So what we will do is I'll link all of her social media in the description bar below, as well as all of my social media and other interviews and places that we've been on her trip. So thank you for watching. This is Montague Travel signing off.
Thank you.
And thank you again for Lori Grande for coming in. Thank you. All right. So, how did you feel about Osaka?
Osaka.
Because remember, we went to Dindin Town.
Right. It was fun. Well, we only went to the train station, right?
No. This is when we took that long walk to the Gundam store, to the computer store where the guy had all the custom computers.
Okay.
And then we went to all the collector stores and you were searching for your figures
Yes.
that you could
I
practice.
remember. We found, was it Ichigo, one of his final forms. I forgot the name of the form. I'm sorry, but yes, I
Gentetsu.
remember. Yes.
The Mega Gentetsu form. Okay.
It was awesome.
So what I like about Dindin Town is that it's the distant cousin to Akihabara, and it's in the back, beautiful corners of Osaka. It's like if you just drove by and didn't know what you're looking at, you would blow right by it. As a matter of fact, we went to 3 computer stores, the Gundam store, because if you're in Dindin Town and you look up, you have the giant Zaku fist coming out of the building. Then Lori got lost in one store because I was in another store, and she found 4 things she was looking for.
Yes.
How do you feel about mailing stuff home? How did your stuff come out when you mailed it home?
Oh, it wasn't damaged at all. I was very, very surprised. I had to mail it out to my office because I wasn't home to receive them. So it was pretty convenient, to be honest with you, because I bought a lot of stuff. I had saved
There
up
is
all
no
the
shame
time.
in shopping. I want to make that disclaimer now. There's no shame in shopping. All right.
Yes. So they came out perfect. When I opened up the boxes, they were in perfect condition, just like I
So
wanted.
when you, Okay. Wow, we had a lot of fun. So we have found, just by random accident, we found a Mario Kart office in Akihabara.
Yes, we did.
And we got to meet the owners, we got to see their staffing, we got to see how they do the tours, and then we found out they got sued.
No.
Sad
so
news.
heartbreaking.
Sad news
Yes.
for Mario Kart. But how much ramen did you have this trip?
Oh gosh, how many bowls did we eat?
Because I know we had it twice in Akihabara.
Right.
We had it one night in Shizuoka.
Okay. 3. Did we have? We had some in Fukuoka.
We didn't have any in Hiroshima.
Hiroshima.
We didn't have any ramen in Hiroshima. I'm sad because I wanted to try that recipe. You also met Jason, my friend from the JET program.
Yes, yes.
And then we just traveled Kumamoto City.
Yes, it was a very hidden gem. I can say that. It was really, really nice. Being able to see the castles, just on the outside, not being able to go inside because they're damaged. But due to the major earthquake,
Yeah.
very saddened by that. But lots of culture there. It's beautiful.
Okay. What was your favorite toy store out of the entire trip? What city? Because you found gyms all in every city except for Hiroshima where we didn't go shopping.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a good question. The one that pops out is Nakano Broadway. Yes.
Okay.
Because right next to it had a museum too.
Yeah.
Yes, with the torii gates. That's where we took the pictures.
Mhm.
They had a lot of old plus newer stuff. It was very nice.
Yeah. So the secret of Nakano Broadway is that it's in certain areas you have toy sellers that have collected toys from the 1940s all the way up to the 20,000s of years now. So you have random examples. You have the original Robot Wars. You have Tetsujin 28 Iron Man. You have Captain Harlock. You had the original Transformers. You had all the Getter Robos. You had everything in Nakano Broadway. And one of my favorite pieces of her work from the trip was the young boy in front of the Tetsujin 28 statue in
Yes.
Kobe.
Caught his emotion. He was very happy to be there with his mom. Yes. Loved it.
She has a great eye for photography, and capturing that moment is like, how many views did that picture have? Like, how many likes?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't remember. I'll have to look back and see.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a very touching picture.
Yep. Her trip through Japan gave her an opportunity to really, really nail critical shots of life in Japan. She even has a lot of hidden assassin shots of me at work.
Those are the best ones.
Yeah. So, how did you feel about the interview trip when we went to Narita Shrine, Narita Jinja?
Oh, that one. I was surprised we didn't go there first. But it was very, very cool. It was almost secluded, but not really. But there was a lot of, outdoor landscaping, green nature, just being there, smelling the incense. Actually taking part in one of
The prayer moments.
Yes, yes.
They had a Buddhist sermon that we got a chance to go participate in.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was so serene. It was amazing.
Yeah. Okay. But how do you feel about all the walking we did on this trip?
I would do it again. I loved it. Sweating, tired, yes, but I would still do it all over again.
Cool. How did you feel about climbing the Kyoto Fuminari Shrine, the holy trail?
I'm not very physically active, so it was a challenge. But to say that I did it when you got up to the top was very rewarding in itself. Yeah, oh my gosh, lots of water and potpourri sweat.
Potpourri sweat is life. You must have potpourri sweat to survive the Fuminari. Okay. How did you feel that day that we met we saw the kids coming through Osaka train station in Kyoto, not Osaka, but in Kyoto. All the little yellow hats and backpacks.
Oh, they're so cute. It's just, you see it on, movies and anime all the time, but when you see it live, it just makes you want to hug every single one of them. Because they're so cute.
Okay. Did you ever tell anyone about how lucky we got going through the Osaka station, going through the side exit? of the shopping center where you found all of your steampunk cosplay clothes?
Oh yes, oh yes. I just kept looking. Oh my god, oh my god. The hard part is American sizes are, we're a little bigger. So going over there and finding our size was a little tough. But luckily, I found some skirts and some shirts that had a lot of stretch elastic around them. So I was able to find some clothing.
So, disclaimer, if you're going clothes shopping in Japan, make sure that you go to the first available store and get your Japanese sizes. Put it in your phone, have them at all times. Because, yeah, my claim to fame was in June, I found a pair of red velvet dress shoes, red velvet leather, and velvet is the wrong word. They were red leather suede, and they were amazing. Problem, they were a size 9. He was trying to squeeze my size 13 foot into a size 9, and it wasn't happening. So the hard part about shopping for clothes in Japan on an emergency basis, I had washed one of my shirts the wrong way. It didn't end well.
How did you do that?
Basically, the machine had an automatic bleach agent that I didn't know about. Because the way they had it labeled is that you had your cold washing machines, your warm, and then you had your 2 bleach machines. And this was before I saw you, when I picked you up at the airport. This happened in Kusatsu. So one of my extra shirts from my previous teaching job got destroyed in Japan. I'm not saddened by this. It's the shirt I didn't care. It was my sweatshirt. It was like I was walking through Japan sweating. It's like, whatever, you're done. Goodbye. You died in Japan. But there was a lot of funny moments in the trip. How did you feel about women and young men interacting on trains that you saw?
Oh, that was fun. It's different. The way they interact with each other is very different. A lot of more staring and less talking. So they got their point across just by a glare or something. Something to that extent.
Ooh. All right. Heartburn. Okay. Sweater chest and heartburn. Okay.
I don't know if you want to edit that.
Yeah. How did you feel about seeing in Kyoto the women walking around in different kimonos, yukatas, and all the different little side stores?
Oh, it was very beautiful to see. Because you don't see that everywhere, but we were able to go across, I think it was like a summer festival going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to see them fully clothed, like in the kimonos and everything, going to the fireworks, to go see the fireworks. That was a sight.
Okay.
Very pretty.
Cool. And then we saw the band Jurichi perform live.
Oh yes.
We had come out of the train station and Lori's ears started just. Do you hear that? But she has to tell the story.
Yeah, so we have to go find it. So we went from no, that's not where it is, and it turned out it was right. It was
at the other exit.
Oh, it was at the other exit. So
we had to cross the street.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if it was coming out through the other side of the exit or entrance or whatever, but it was very, very nice. And we ended up walking toward them, and they were very, very cool. We talked to them afterwards.
Yeah.
And later on Twitter, he had added me. He says, "You're the one with the legendary backpack." I said, "The legendary backpack? What is?" Oh, my Legend of Zelda backpack. That's how he remembers
even added me. He added her. I'm not bitter though.
I'm
not bitter though.
Yes, I carried that backpack everywhere I went.
So if you watch any of my videos and you see the Zelda backpack, that is legitimately Lori in the video for her part of the trip. So you told us that you enjoyed Akihabara, Nakano, well, you enjoyed almost every city in your trip.
Everyone.
How did you feel about the trains, though?
It wasn't
too
bad.
The downtime on the train.
Oh, that wasn't bad either because it was super comfortable, very clean. They gave you snacks on the way. Wait, you can have alcohol too? If I'm not mistaken, so that's the best part.
I'm sorry. Yeah. All right.
Edit.
So, there was one time that we were coming back from another city, going back to our hotel, and they didn't have any more reserved or unreserved seats. They had to put us in the green car.
Oh, remind me again, the green car?
The luxury car.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where they had all the wood grain seats and everything,
Oh,
and the
yes.
footrest that was comfortable. And you said you couldn't reach.
Not a problem. I'll make sure I reach. I just put my bags underneath and was able to lift up my feet. Yeah, I'm 5 foot flat, so it's tough.
It's okay. I'm 5'8", still have issues in Japan. So. But this has been a wonderful interview. It was fun catching up and actually getting it on camera. But hardest part of Japan, other than your phone, what was the hardest part for you, other than the phone issue?
Other than the phone issue, the luggage, me thinking I was carrying light, I wasn't. Take 2 pairs of shoes instead of 5. Other than that, if I had to pick one more issue, it'd probably be the heat. Not everywhere is going to have air conditioning, so keep that in mind. Dress lightly. That would be my only advice to anybody going over there.
Bring a towel. You'll need it. All
Yes.
right. Pokeri sweat is a must.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything you didn't get to do that you'll want to do next time around?
Visit more anime-themed restaurants. If some of them are available, I know they're only open from a certain time.
Some of them are pop-ups.
Yeah, pop-ups. There you go. So if that's possible.
How did you feel about going over to Oita and seeing the My Neighbor Totoro park?
Oh! Wasn't that in Psyche?
Psyche, yeah.
Psyche, yes.
Oita
That was
Prefecture,
fun.
Psyche City, yeah.
Because it was so secluded and not a lot of people were there, so it wasn't very touristy. That was really neat. We had a friend who had a red umbrella, so that way I could go and stand next to the cat bus. That was perfect.
Cool. Okay. So you had an amazing trip. I'm glad that I could provide you that service.
Thank you.
So now we just need you to bring all of your friends with you.
I know.
The one thing that I did do this summer that I wish other people could have joined me for was the game release for Border Break.
Border Break.
Border Break is a giant robot shoot 'em up. It's like Call of Duty meets giant robot.
Okay.
But what was nice is that they had a life-size model of one of the characters of the game,
Oh, really?
and it's on the channel. So I'll add that in the description box below. But I found out that you can find it yourself. Is that the artist that has done the original manga for Berserk is considered doing a pop-up museum somewhere in Japan,
Oh,
but he hasn't announced where.
okay. That's on my to-do list.
As soon as they come back to Japan, join us. But once again, thank you for watching the video. This is Montague Travels. We're signing off again with Lori Grande. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And she also finally posted her Black Shirt Friday
Yes.
Team 2017 shirt. Do you get a lot of compliments on the shirt?
Not so far because where I work in a school, so I can't wear it at the school again. And I haven't gone out as much as I used to, but yes.
Adult life, adult.
Yes.
Hashtag
Terrible
adult.
thing.
But what happened to Summer Hideyoshi is that everyone loved the Team 2017 shirt. So
Oh,
thank you for the help with that.
All right, no problem.
Yes. So if you ever need a graphic artist for big projects, little projects, t-shirts, business cards, there you go, Lori Grande. And have you come up with your own website or business-related social media yet?
No. As far as a website, I used to have one, but it started to get a little more costly. So I went ahead and shut that down and just relied more on social media. So you can't find me on Instagram. I post more on there more than anything.
Okay. So again, her social media will be in the description box below. Thank you for Montague Travels. We're driving home now. It's been great. All right. Good night.